We talked about the last time you talked to the president, but today the State of Black America is out by the National Urban League. Jobs, Rebuild America. What would you say to the president today?
I would say to the president we urge him to fight hard against extreme budget cuts. For him to understand that according to the polling we have, the people are behind us. The people are behind him if he fights against budget cuts. Dr. Silas Lee, and I'd love to make him available to you, did a national public opinion poll for us. I just shared, I'll give you a copy of my speech too, some numbers from the poll that showed that 77% of the people believe that fighting unemployment is as important as cutting the deficit. I think that there's, to some extent, been a little bit of a yarn spun by some here in the nation's capital. We do need a fiscal plan, but a fiscal plan that only forces domestic spending, only forces education and community development programs to bear the burden of budget cuts is not fair, it's nonsensical, and it's dishonest.
And what are the things you don't want him to cut or gouge into?
I think that this is what I'll tell you about cuts. I think that the discussion ought to be about cuts across the board, freezes across the board. The discussion needs to place either everything should be on the table or nothing should be on the table. In other words, you can't say veterans and farms programs are off limits, the Defense Department and the military are off limits, tax loopholes are off limits, let's just cut domestic discretionary spending. We've got to put everything on the table. We're not saying we don't need a plan. We're saying we need a balanced plan that focuses our investments and not forces the most vulnerable people to bear the exclusive burden for balancing the budget of the United States.